Hello, Konul. How are you today?
Hi, Julia. Nice to meet you. I'm good. How are you doing? Hello, everyone.
Uh, Konul, the floor is yours. First of all, I would like to ask you, why did you choose to study in Poland and how did you learn about this opportunity?
First of all, thanks for inviting me. Can you hear me well? Can you
Yeah, we
hear
can
me?
hear you. We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, great. Just before, like talking about my experience, I would like to raise awareness about the Nowruz holiday um, in Central Asia, but not only in Afghanistan, Iran, and Azerbaijan. And we are having actually a public holiday these days. So that's why I'm here with my semani, the symbol of Nowruz. Um, Let me just, yes. So that's why happy Nowruz to all the people all the future students who are joining us from Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Azerbaijan. So about my experience, actually, how I ended up in Poland, let's say, because I wanted to shift my career focus to research more, and I was exploring the opportunities, how to conduct research and what kind of programs they are available, of course, with scholarships. And I came across the Lenkyupon scholarship program, which actually allowed me to study in Wrocław to conduct research on migration and on full scholarship basis. So that was a really great opportunity. I came to Wrocław. I studied at the University of Wrocław, so I was taking courses, but I was also conducting research at the same time. And it was a non-degree program, but it was a very good program to basically get familiar with the Polish education system. And after that, I decided to apply for a PhD. And why I decided to do it in Poland, because I already knew how things work at the university. I already knew some professors. And, like when basically in PhD studies, your supervisor, like promotor, as in Polish you say, is very important. And I'm very happy about my supervisor because we have really great communication. So that's why I decided to go with it in Poland, basically at the University of Wrocław.
I see. So you're a PhD student now, but you already went through the previous cycles of studies, correct?
Yes.
And what are your general impressions of studying in Poland? What do you kind of remember most of these years that you are in Poland already?
Well, if we don't take into account the COVID periods, because I've been here for 2 years, before COVID periods, basically it was very vibrant. For example, the facilities at the university is quite good. I was using a lot of libraries. For example, the main library is very nice. And also, some of the resources are quite nice. I mean, when you compare it to Azerbaijan, I think it's definitely much nicer in Poland. But one of the key points probably just, to get to know some other foreign students. I think this is the key thing here because Wrocław in general is very international. It has a lot of foreign students. So I think that's one of the things. Another thing is that the faculty and the staff, especially the international office at the university, they are very friendly. They are very, reachable, approachable. So you feel very comfortable talking to them, and they're quite responsive, regardless of what kind of communication means you are using to get to them. So these are, I would say, the key points of my overall study experience in Poland.
Well, you mentioned Wrocław already. What do you like? Do you feel comfortable there? What are your general impressions of the city where you're basically living now, right?
Yes. I actually feel quite comfortable because Wrocław is a city that is very easily reachable. The communication, transportation is very nice. You can have a walk in, almost all main parts of the city, which I enjoy a lot. So most of the things are quite, in a reachable distance. For example, from my place of residence, I can walk, to the city center, even to the main university building. But it also that the history, for example, Wrocław is quite specific in that sense. because it used to be a German city, and like there is some architecture, very nice architecture in the city. In general, the city is very vibrant, it's very live, which I really appreciate, because coming from Azerbaijan, when you see a lot of people on the streets, almost any time of the day, I really appreciate the same thing in Wrocław. So when I go out, I feel like the city is very alive, very vibrant. You can meet a lot of internationals here as well. And I think the fact that Poland has been growing a lot recently, and it definitely shows its impact in Wrocław as well. There are a lot of foreign companies, investment banks, and so on here, and mainly international and foreign. So that's why it definitely makes the city much more interesting to explore.
Did you have an opportunity to explore any other regions?
Yes, actually, I have a brief history with Poland before, because I did my European volunteer service in Poland, but I stayed in Katowice for 9 months. But it was 10 years ago, very long time ago. So you can imagine my surprise when I came to Wrocław, and when I actually went back to Katowice a year ago, and I saw a huge change, which was wow, that the city has been progressing a lot within these 10 years. Of time. So for me, it was really a very good surprise, basically. But definitely, I've been to many cities in Poland, to Warsaw, Poznan, Torun is one of my favorite cities. I've been to a lot of small Silesian cities in Górnośląsk, because during my EVS I had to explore all the 19 cities, so all these Ruda Śląska, Siemianowice Śląskie, Sosnowiec, you name it. So I have, basically, I feel very comfortable in Poland. I can say that.
I see you traveled quite a lot and have a lot of favorites even. And yes, sometimes it's really fascinating how cities are developing when you did not visit them for some 10 years and suddenly you come and you do not even recognize the streets or whatever. And what about, you've been living here for a couple of years so far. What about the language? Did you learn Polish? Do you speak it? Was it difficult for you to learn it?
I had to learn it because, as part of the Lane Kirkland Scholarship Program, we had to attend the school for foreigners at the University of Wrocław, where they teach Polish to foreign students, not only students, but to any foreigner who would like to learn the language. So yes, I attended, and I am continuing to attend the Polish classes now, even at the university. My current Polish level is B1. So I'm trying to improve it, basically, trying to practice it, in my everyday life whenever I have a chance to go out. But the thing is that if you don't know Polish, it's very difficult for you to survive, basically, especially, in terms of access to services, if you have to submit some documents to the voivodeship office, if you need to buy a train ticket at the train station, if you need to send something back to your family or to your friends all over the world at the post office. Most of the staff don't speak English, so it's better, if you know some level of Polish. And for me, it's a bit easier because, I, coming from the former Soviet Union, because of the knowledge of the Russian that I learned at school, so it's kind of, a bit easier for me to learn the language.
It was easier, definitely, because, of course, they are languages of the same group, so phonetically and in many other ways they're quite similar. But however, university infrastructures and stuff may be quite well adapted for foreign students. So other elements may not always catch up, at least not at once. Generally, are you happy about your choice of choosing to study in Poland, and would you probably recommend it to your friends or maybe family members?
So far, I'm happy. I'm happy to be at the Doctoral College of Sociology, to work with my supervisor, and to work with all the faculty that I'm taking the classes with. So I really appreciate their attention, their down-to-earth character. It's very important for a student, to feel comfortable when you're talking to your professors or instructors at school. So I feel that at the University of Wrocław, specifically at social sciences and sociology discipline. But yeah, definitely, I would really recommend people, like, students who are looking for exploring opportunities to study in European Union or in Poland in particular, to try that, to be able to get out of the comfort zone, and, to try new things, and definitely try to apply to Poland as well. Why not? It's an EU member state. The country has been growing a lot, as I told, like after studies, there might be a lot of internship opportunities or work opportunities as well, depending, what kind of field you are choosing. So yeah, definitely.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, you are a PhD student at two universities at a time, at the University of Wrocław and at Columbia University.
No.
Or
I did my master's degree at Columbia.
I see. Okay, so but anyway, what are your future professional plans? Are you planning to live between the continents, or what would you choose, Europe or North America?
I haven't thought that far yet. I mean, I'm for 4 years in Poland so far because I wanna basically finish what I've studied in terms of my PhD studies. And an interesting part about my doctoral studies is that I am actually conducting research on the work experiences of migrants from Azerbaijan and Georgia on the Polish labor markets. So I'm trying to contribute to the field of the South Caucasus research, basically. But my passion is migration field, so I'm seeing myself in that field. But so far, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what kind of opportunity is going to arise for me. So far, for 4 years, I'm in Poland. So let's see what happens after that.
Yeah, let us see what future will bring. We are all now kind of in suspense because of pandemic, but it's not only
Exactly.
this, but plans change quite often. Just for those candidates, for those young people who are kind of planning, kind of looking for different opportunities, where to study, what would you tell them?
I would tell them definitely to explore more, to research, to get in contact with the universities they are interested in, to contact international offices, to get to know all the information they require, all the information they need to know. Even, I don't know, take the least draft something on the paper, it will definitely help. Get to know the opportunities after the university years, depending, where you would like to see yourself in the future. And also get in contact with the people who are studying at the university or who are alumni, because people always help. One thing is that you get to know the information on the website. Another thing is that, you know the information from, let's say, firsthand, right? The people who have experienced that life. So, and also, for PhD, for the students who would like to do PhD and doctoral studies in Poland, definitely get in contact with professors, the research field, of which might fit their dissertation proposals. So yeah, I would say, just research, really explore. Basically, first of all, I think, get to know what you want, because it's really very important just to be able to see what you want, to identify that. And then after you know what you want, just, try to take some small steps, but be committed in the process and communicate a lot, because communication is very important when you are, searching for some opportunities and applying for universities. Yeah, don't be shy, take the steps and take the initiative and just, go with the flow.
So explore, don't be afraid, ask questions, communicate,
Exactly.
and your future is ahead of you. Thank you very much, Konul, for your contribution to our event. I wish you
You're welcome.
success in your scientific work and in your research, and hope to see you in person some other day in Poland.